Okay, what up YouTube? This is Ryder and welcome back to Naruto Online and on server 271 as AmyHaruno, and as you can see by my name, we merge, first of all. Second of all, I'm level 83, and third of all, shit man, there's so many people right now. Okay, what's the thing? Okay, I lost this. I lost it. I got lost so many shit. Okay, so I end the fourth chapter of the Fanfiction just got out. So what's going on right now? A cool thing. Oh shit, okay. Anyway, I'm not gonna spend any more time, and so many things change. Wait. Oh, at least I'm second in power. Oh my god, this dude though. Huh. Good luck beating them. Oh my god, okay, so I see how it is. Oh, you guys fucking close, man. You already have the shit, man. Shit gets real. Shit, I understand why they have for such a power. Okay, anyway, let's just get into the chapter. Okay, so now we're in the fourth chapter of the fanfiction that I was in it. So I don't know if I'm gonna still be in this chapter, but we'll see. Team original, as Kyla always thought them as was her first family. She grew up with them until recently, spending her first 13 years with them. It was enjoyable and she always looked at them as her brother and sisters. They had learned together, fought together in mock practice with their humble leader, and even Irzen Samatov. Then at times it was good times, she remembered. Then that time passed when she was informed that she would be placed into a new team. She was immediately requested to travel to the village in the sand. It took almost a week of travel, but she arrived at her new home and got to see the Kazukage. Skylar found that she didn't like the man, something about his aura that repelled her. Then there was the attitude he had toward his youngest son, Gara, like he was a tool. She was pleasant to the group a day after her arrival, and he was immediately threatened with death. When she said something that Gara didn't like, she found that she didn't like him. Up until the second week, he actually did try to carry out on his promise to kill her, but she combated him and showed him in that she could revive him. The day started like any other, but they were sent out on a S-rank mission to retrieve the Sands Road ninja Taru. They were sent to bring him back, but when Gara tried to kill the man, Scarlet stepped in and stopped him. He turned his hate on her. Then she retaliated by using his own sand against him, imprisoning him in a cocoon until his hate cooled. It was then that Temari told her that Gara was her brother. Skylar was informed that even Kankuro was amazed at the fearlessness that she showed. But later that day, she also saw his vulnerability, and what she saw shocked her, and she found herself sad for him. When she caught him crying, she never told anyone and kept like she didn't see anything, but she came to see him as human. And since that day, she always treated him as one. She grew close to her team, and they grew to like her too. Gara just tolerating her like his sibling. Then finally they got the notice that the exams were on in 1 week, and that they were reported to the Leaf Village for it. Sky wasn't surprised to find out that no one made the Hikazekage standard except for her team. He was one who only expected strong ninjas, so she prepared with just her weapon and met with her team. Gaara had wanted to leave the same day, and they did much to the evacuation of Kankuro. And they arrived about 3 days later in the Leaf Village and was allowed to rest. On the second day there, Skylar was again not surprised to see Kankuro starting mischief, nor did she try to stop him, much to Claire's shock. That was on Tatsuya's face. Kankuro wasn't going to do anything too bad. She knew he needed to let off some steam. Then Gaara arrived and put the fear into Kankuro, which Skylar was relieved of. They started to leave when a girl had stopped them and challenged them. Skylar remembered how stupid she had acted, and the yellow-haired boy seemed more stupid. Finally, the Shumen exam arrived, and she knew that her team passed it, and her whole team too. She was about to leave with her current team when they were approached by an ambu from the village. Skyla, the ambu said, you are requested to come to the Kage's meeting room. How you telling Gaara? Started to say. Gaara, Skyla said, interrupt him. It's okay, I came from this village before. I joined your team in village. Gaara said. His eye narrowing as he looked at her. It is about your past training? I believe so, Skyla said, smiling. If you get to meet my whole group one last time If I get to meet my old group one last time as Team Alpha, I'll be letting the Hokage know that I am a Sand Ninja. Alright, Gaara says, not least interested. You know where will we be at? Skyla nodded, knowing that he trusted her this time. She knew that he had been trusting her more, and she wasn't going to fail that. She got ready and arrived wearing her old trademark mask. It was going to be the last time that she was going to wear it, as she had every intention of making sure it was the last time. She watched the Hokage sit down in his chair in his big meeting room. He was an old man of 78, and look at it. His white beard and white hair was covered by the red white brim hat that came with the title he signed as he looked at the other who were invited to the room. It was the team leader of all the teams minus one. My guy was there, his jet black hair and brushy eyebrow. Then where there was Kurina observing everything with her red eye, and Asuma lighting up at the cigarette, his black beard somewhat catching the smoke. Then there was Kakashi, his British air and high that saw too much Wuhan involved in the book title Make Out Tactic. And finally, the last person was hidden behind a Nambu mask. It was a fox-like white with a red stripe, two black stripe, and a draw mouth in those. It hid the man beneath it, so no one could tell who it was. Only two people in the room knew who it really was. Suddenly, four other figures appeared, each wearing their own mask. One had blonde hair, and her mask resembled as cruel. A pair of small, round, and tripped ears popping out of the top. Then there was a black-haired one with mask resembling as mischievous and tricky Tanuki, with the marking looking like bandit. The third looked like white cat, the marking making him look like one past his thick wet hair. Then the final one was an orange elderly fellow whose mask made people think of a bear. This made him look like one too. She knew every one of those people, and she smiled for a moment before she pulled her mask off. Erzen-sama, Skylar said respectfully. I am no longer a Den Leaf Embo trainee, but now I'm of the Sand Village. I do believe that was the agreement that you made with the Kazekage. Skylar, you can relax, the Hokage said calmly. I understand you're expressing this concern, but I call you this meeting to explain what will happen. Minato's program was discontinued as the children that Kenma was taught for the last 14 years have to come to the Hokage, so the rest of you can remove your mask. Each took their mask, save Suya. For Suya, Skylar saw. He stayed unmoving with his mask still on, and everyone in the room looked at him. He had a Sharingan, Kakashi stated, as he put his book away, but only in one eye. You can see it? You can see it, Sky-Haired Hunter. You can see it, Sky-Haired Hunter saw him glare at Suya. Yes, Kakashi answered, and looked at the Hokage, but why no? By what high one hair? He was born like that, Hokage answered. The other is the Byakugan. Half Yuga, that's my question, half Uchiha, the son of the firstborn Yuga, the Okage informed them she was supposed to be the first in line, be the heiress of the house, but she didn't like the heiress system and was found to be previously committed an unpardonable offense in Hatsuya. So that's why the Yuga clan is having an issue, Kakashi said. Yes, Skylar heard Kenma said, nodding. Though it was mostly unknown to the village, they want to keep it this way. The reason why you all are called together, Sky heard the Hokage say, it's not because of the issue, it's because I am giving you a choice on whether or not you want to stay in the Ambu. I want to stay with Team 7, Tatsuya says, declared, pushing his basket, but also I want to keep my mask. I already stayed in my ancestor, Skylar said, placing her mask on the floor. I am of the Eden village in the Sen. I'm with Team Guy, Skylar heard Daroku said. I'm with my team, Hunter announced, blasting his mat on the table in front of Kunai. If I had to choose between the Ambu and my team, I give up the mask. Then it's decided, the Hokage stated. The Ambu trainer are no longer Ambu. You are to keep to your team and learn to be joining ninjas. What about me? do I still keep my mask, Tatsuya said. If you wish, Tatsuya, the Hokage replied. So we can return to our teams, Kara. So we can return to us. You can, the Hokage said. Thank you, Erzen-sama, Tatsuya said. Boring, she soon left, and within few minutes was back in the building. They were staying for this team. Skyla, suddenly Gaara's voice said. How did it go? Skyla turned around and saw Gaara standing there looking at her. She could tell that he was curious, even though he knew how to hide mostly. It was in his eye, she had learned. He could hide his true feeling, as his eye would always show them. She quickly learned that and soon became sensitive to what they showed her in return. She could tell that he was starting to trust her in tiny bits, but it was in the inches. Still, she was glad that she was gaining his trust and had no intention of betraying the trust. I told Hokage that I was of the Sen village, she told Gaara. Noticing that they were alone, as Erez-sama might have helped raise me, but I'm not under his wing anymore. I think he knows now that I am under the Kazekage. And everyone that participate in the meeting know that I am in your team. Well, Gaara said, his eye glitching in the pleasing light. I started to turn away. I would think that you should rest. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. Skyla smiled and she walked up to him. Gaara, she said. Skyla saw him turn toward her and she quickly gave him a kiss on his cheek before running off a bit. Don't do that again, Skylar heard him shout at her with annoyance, and she turned around to see him frowning, but she saw a bit of fierceness in those eyes in his. I'm sorry, Gaara, Skylar said. Gaara was suddenly turning away. Scarla soon was in bed and she smiled as she remembered those highs. The next day it was like it never happened. The team had gotten ready and Gaara was impatient for things to happen. Finally they were at the front of the gate of the second test. Skylar saw that there was a fence around the forest. She remembered this forest in her training as once part of the Team Alpha. They had trained air so many times. Skylar remembered it was hard each time, but they learned how to live through the night with the watchful eye of their team leader Kenma. Suddenly her attention was brought back to the present when she heard Gaara sighing in annoyance. She knew why everyone else that passed the first exam was here too. Skylar from as she wanted to see some of the other team to fail. Less for later, she thought to herself, if Team Alpha had 5 years of a survival, a few hours in the forest, then so could the Team Air, she figured as she looked away from Kaznet. Finally, Anko arrived and Skylar smiled in eagerness. They say the location of the second phase of the exam, and Conan said that it's the 44th battle training zone, but we call it the Forest of Death. Skylar almost scoffed at all. Once she was all needed to see death. When Gaara tried to kill in front of her, she realized after that she would not stop him if it meant completing a goal, and all it took was one mouth with him. She frowned as she looked at him. She was scanning the outside of the forest, and she walked up to him, causing him to look at her. We won't fail you, Gaara, she said to him. Temari stepped into the side, nodded, and she also saw a conqueror smile. Gaara made his usual sound dismissing their instruments, but Skylar knew that it was him accepting his team's support. Temari looked at her, and Skylar nodded. The older girl smiled in relief as Sky saw Naruto running from an object that looked like a box of rock. She glanced at Tatsuya, seeing him hiding his face with his hand. Skylar even noticed that Anko stopped it and was watching the scene. Finally, the yellow-haired boy wheeled around and pointed at the object. "That's the worst disgust ever!" The Naruto yelled. "Whoever heard a square rock?" Skylar sighed in disgust and turned away. She focused on her team and what Gaara wanted. "Okay," Anto announced loudly, "we are taking a 10 minutes break. Please be respectful to the reporter here and to all who are being interviewed." 10 minutes, Skylar repeated in her hand. She smiled as she realized that she had enough time to relate to her team what the forest was and her experience with it. It was enough to allow Tamarin Kankuro to get a general layout, so she spent most of the time informing her team of the forest, and 8 minutes later Skylar was finished and her team was well informed. "This whole place creeped me out," Skylar heard the pink-haired girl say. "It should," Skylar said slightly muckling. "They are calling in the Forest of Death for a reason." "They call it the Forest of Death for a reason," Naruto mocked as she did this mocking dance. Skylar frowned as she looked away. She noticed Kankuro Naruto's eye and she subtly shook her head no. She noticed a hand sign from Tatsuya apologizing for his teammate behavior. "Do your worst in scaring me," Naruto said proudly. "I can handle anything." "So," Anko finally said. Finally, she had been watching them. Skylar realized, "Looked like we got ourselves a tough guy." Suddenly, the projector threw a kunai at Skylar, saw that it was aimed at Naruto. However, it was past him and landed to the ground next to it. And the constant. Then Skylar saw Anko disappear, and a second later reappeared behind Naruto. "Are you tough enough to unlock this?" Anko asked. You're not afraid, are you?" Skylar then saw the boar starting to bleed from his cheek, and after being gazed by the weapon. "Tough guy like you," Anko says, "usually leave their blood all over this forest." Suddenly, Anko had another kunai in her hand before she heard the grass ninja was just returning in her first weapon. However, Gaara was paying attention and Skylar could tell it wasn't enough to run alert. After a moment, Skylar watched Anko start the exam up and pull up a stack of paper. "I need you to sign this consent form, saying that if something should happen to you in this forest, they were not responsible for it. You should die." Skylar heard Gaara again and she smiled. She knew that her team could handle something like this. She knew that she could handle this as well, being that she had to train in the forest a few times. She heard Tatsuya start trickling and she smiled. The paper were passed out and all the candidates started finding place to sign their papers. Skylar signed her paper as Anko went out to inform everyone the terrain of the forest and what they were to be doing. She half listened and learned that her team would have to get to school, the even or school, and then head to the building in the middle in the forest. She also learned that they were forbidden to open the school before arriving at the building. Skylar glanced at Gaara and she saw him once again looking in the forest, and on top of that, they had 5 days to complete the test. Skylar knew that her team would complete this test. She didn't worry, however, she did become concerned if the others that were on teams once 10 will pass. "After you sign the consent form," Anko said, "your team will be called up. You must turn the forms in and receive a school in return." After a few minutes, Skylar heard a commotion, 2 girls earthly in the lamest insult that she had ever heard. She saw Tatsuya try to calm the fighting girls, only to get punched by the pink-haired girl and shot by the other one. Skylar watched in horror as the 2 girls suddenly walked off from each other. She then heard the announcement for everyone to now get ready. Each team would be called up into tent to receive a scroll and then would be assigned to a gate. It was half an hour later than that they were ready for the gate to open. Skylar noticed that Tamarin Kankuro looked uneasy and she tried to assure by giving them a thumbs up. Then she saw the guy at the gate unlock it, and then a minute later he opened it. Skylar and her team ran in trying to get in the forest quickly, and she was glad that the action her team was also glad. She knew each of them had to grow to like action. Then about an hour later, they anchored a team that decided to challenge them. "I can't believe you guys," heard one of the opposing them looking. "And over your skull, you beginning." Skylar stood behind her team. It was her place. She saw Gaara standing in front with the other two between them. She rolled her eye as she saw the other team laughing and mocking them. "I've earned enough of you," said finally. "Let's make this quick. I don't want to waste time on this guy." Skylar knew what that meant. and she redialed herself. Hey Gara, Kankuro said. Doesn't make more sense to follow this guy and gather until first? I mean, what if they have the same school as us? I don't care, Gara said. They look at the wrong way, so they're going to die. Scarlet blinked as she knew that it was Gara's way of giving the other team a chance to just flee, but the fool didn't take it. She saw the lead guy pull out his weapon and once more challenge Gara. She sighed and she pulled out her own weapon. It wasn't like they had a choice now. The idiot had to just go and challenge Gara. She watched it as the other guy made it rain needles, and she quickly retreated to under her tree limbs. She spotted Hunter hiding in the foliage, their gazes meeting for a moment. Before she looked at Gara as usual, he was okay, but she was now worried more of Hunter being found, so she acted as she didn't see him. Seaborn rainstorm, huh? Gara said from inside his sandbar, sounding angry. How about we make it rain blood instead? He's created a wall of sand. Skylar heard the attacker exclaim in shock as he walked forward back to her place. Yes, Skylar said proudly. It has defense and nothing can penetrate it. He carries it around the gourd on his back, controlled it, and when he's attacked, he uses his chakra to move harder than to say. It's a jutsu that only Gara can do, and it all happens automatically, so any attack on him are doomed to fail. Oh yeah, Skylar heard the guy say. Well, see about that. You guys can't beat Gara, Skylar told him. The other guy started running toward him. Skylar saw him become more angry and getting ready to fight. She sighed as she saw Gara bring his hand together, and she shook her head. It was way too late for the guy now. She took as she saw Gara make a hand sign. Sand coffin, Gara said. Suddenly, he sank quickly and gripped the attacker and covered all but his face. Skylar knew that it was coming, and she had seen this many times now. The opposing teams suddenly were fearful and stood frozen. Skylar saw the attacker's umbrella weapon all fall on the ground, and she smiled slightly as one confidently landed next to her. She picked it up and opened it, covering her from what she knew what was coming. She saw Gara taking an umbrella next to him, and he opened it. All I have to do is cover your big mouth and you'll die, Gara said hopefully, but that will be too easy and too boring. She watched him raise his hand, the sun-covered guy rising to the high air, and then when both were high, Skylar saw Gara pause. She knew the hunter was watching this, and she was hoping that he didn't try to do anything. It was punishment for the guy, and now Gara for challenging him, and she was preparing. Weakwa! Prepare for so stop Hunter, so she needed to sand burial. It suddenly started raining a red color, and she dared not look up from the under umbrella to see why. She knew what it was for. There wasn't any pain. Gara formed had crushed him with more force than restlessness. Bidding fear. Endless and weakwa. Okay, c'est beau. Less than feeling in the chaos within me, and it making me stronger. Here, one of the guys said, placing their scroll down on the ground. Just take it. Just please spare us. Before she could say anything, Gara had already crushed the other two guys, and Skylar and Hunter team start to move away. We got lucky, Kankuro said, bringing Skylar's attention back forward the front. They just we need an Avon scroll. Now we can hit to the tower. Just shut up, Gara already. It's not enough for me. Come on, Gara, push it. Why are you scared? Look, Gara, Kankuro said, walking toward his younger brother. I know that this is a test, no issue for you, but it's dangerous for the rest of us. One set scroll is enough for us to pass. Losers, Gara said. Can't tell me what to do. Alright, that's enough, Kankuro said angrily, and grabbing Gara's shirt. Sometimes you have to listen to what your big brother says. It's too bad I don't think you're as of my big brother, Gara informed him. If you get in my way, I'll kill you. Wait, Timari said timidly. Just hold on, Gara. You don't have to treat us. You don't have to treat us like we're the enemies. Look, just think of it as doing a favor for your sister, okay? Gara raised his hand against Kankuro, and Skylar saw the intention of killing Kankuro. Then he moved his hand out of the side and started gathering sand. Skylar sighed in relief as Timari cried out, thinking that Gara was going to carry out his threat. Alright, this time, Gara said. Skylar then saw him walk away, and she dropped the umbrella following him. She walked past Timari and Kankuro. Skylar noticed the dislike that was clear on Kankuro's face and the relief on Timari's face. She waved them to follow and they started walking with her. She was glad that this part was over. Alright, it's over for now. Thanks for everyone for reading and watching. I'll see you guys later.